what a night of games so far here in Group G, and we now find ourselves in the final series of the night.
And this is going to be a good one.
Yeah.
As much as ForGG is a killer in this matchup, I think every single body who was watching that game felt the ripples of MMA's force, just the fist slam down and the just slide through. And I think ForGG felt that too, because that was sick. That was a massive comeback from him. Obviously, Daishi must be upset with that loss, but it is now MMA to fight against ForGG, who holds an insane record. 12 wins, 2 losses against Terrans. Pretty impressive, and he's going to be looking to continue this on.
All right, and if you're just joining us now, here's exactly how things have unfolded throughout the night. As you can see, Live Zerg advancing in first place, shocking everyone. Talking about ripples, I mean, that one certainly caused one in this group. And then now, down in the lower bracket.
Oh, not the lower bracket game we thought we were meant to see. It was actually, if you look at the bracket, meant to be upside down.
Yeah, pretty much.
Meant to be kind of upside down. Like, 4GG and MMA were meant to be up there. Not the way that it happened. Now is the time for El Clasico.
Pretty much.
It's going to be 4GG versus MMA, and this is just, I'm very excited about this one.
Yeah.
You know, 2 high-level Terran players going at it to decide which of them will represent Terran in the round of 16, with Yoda, who is new, of course, to the WCS. But one of these guys, who are old school in the WCS Europe now, have to carry the Terran flag for everyone else.
And they do. Merry-Go-Round will be our first map between these two guys. I think this is going to be good. This is going to be really, really good. I've already been very impressed of what we've seen so far from Live Zerg today, but now it's do or die. One of these Koreans is going to the round of 16. One of them is going out. And
I had a tweet just come through, actually, which I just had a look at, and it was very funny because it was MMA's face of when
the
he
best
won.
face of
the
all
best
time.
face ever, like when he beat MC on that game. Imagine him using that face again, beating Daishi there.
That was my impression.
MMA is very good at these type of comebacks.
All right, let's get into it. Game number 1 now as we jump into Merry-Go-Round for our final best of 3 of the night. One of them advances onto the round of 16. Spawning up to the top right, we have our blue Terran. He is a killer in this matchup. It is Millennium's 4GG. And down to the south as our red Terran representing Acer, it is MMA.
All right. So, the wave would have been felt by 4GG. He could have been like a guy in the ocean as the first wave crashes on and he doesn't move at all. The very beginning waves.
You may...
Depends how much of an effect it would have had. You could have been like the paddler.
Could have been. You may have not seen the new Godzilla film.
No, not yet, no.
But right now, I am that Asian gentleman who I can't remember the name of, who's saying, let them fight. And then Godzilla is going to take on the other monster. It's going to be great. It was in the trailer, it's fine, it's not a spoiler.
I haven't seen the trailer either.
Oh, wait, okay, man, it's a little
bit of spoiler. I messed that all up. All right, it is 12 gas for 4GG, 13 gas for MMA. 13 gas tells us that it's most likely not going to be Reaper here. It would be like 2 Marines or so into, or 1 or 2 Marines into a reactor. Into a factory anyway. I mean, you have to play factory in this matchup. You need air.
Yes.
ASAP. To defend or to attack. Mostly to defend. You lose that, you lose control of the skies, lose to a lot of different pushes. Oh, one of these guys I can't believe is going to be eliminated, and that's absolutely insane to think.
It kind of makes me sad.
Because they've been in every season.
Yeah.
Every single WCS Premier League they've played in, whether they got to the round 16 or not. It doesn't matter.
One of them falls down to Challenger.
One of them plays in Challenger.
It's quite crazy.
All right, so Reaper opening here versus the 2 Marine into Reactor. It's not a big difference between builds, actually very similar. But 2 Marines are better value overall because they are not the units that lose the value faster than the Reapers per se, because the Reaper's good for scouting right now, which is what it is good for, but it's not that good after. Yep. But these 2 Marines also, or 3 in this case, are a lot more useful throughout the game here. He's already starting to add to his army, whereas a Reaper doesn't. which is the difference between these two. Second refinery coming in here for MMA. Looks like he may be going, if we're taking a second refinery like this, instead of going up towards the reactor, as I may have thought would have happened, he's going to play Banshees.
Yeah,
off of 13 gas. It's like an much older build. This used to be the normal way to play and open up Banshees.
Well, we'll see what on the other side of things, obviously, ForGG grabbing himself that command center and using this Reaper not really for harassment, but just to sit around here and wait around. So
yeah, this Marine count's, you know, climbing nicely. I wonder if MMA has any plans for a tank push here with such a high Marine count. You know, we've seen the damage that Marines can do when pushed in with the tanks when the SCVs come off to help defend. But both players have not scouted. They have no idea what the other player's doing. This is their chosen strategy coming into it, whether the opponent likes it or not.
I think it's a good point that you bring up, though. If you did go for a tank push or something like that, on ForGG side of things, you forego all of the production of that initial barracks placement for, what, these Reapers that aren't really doing anything?
It's
Comes back to your initial point.
Okay. Command center is down. It's going to be Banshee command center. Overall, though, I mean, ForGG's not that far behind from getting his units out. Oh, it's a Raven. So yeah, we most likely will see a push come from this eventually. Getting a Raven so early is good defensive, but also starting to build up the energy is going to allow him to push out with quite a few auto turrets. He's got the tech lab on the factory, and yeah, my initial thought's kind of right. He's definitely lining up towards a push.
All right, well, let's see if this is going to work out, because normally it's ForGG that's really putting on that kind of pressure.
ForGG's completely in the dark. I mean, he's got no idea. He's actually building a turret because MMA's opened up Banshee every game. Yeah. Apart from the one that he lost with the Reaper on that last game. So at the moment, ForGG is blind countering MMA style. Yeah, which is funny because it's actually hurting ForGG here. He's just saying, all right, when you played this map last, you did the same as I did, which was gas first and Banshee. But in reality, there are 300, I think, 3 turrets? Yeah, 300 minerals wasted. And a Viking, I guess that is okay, but the engineering bay wasn't needed, the turrets aren't needed. It's a lot of money that ForGG's thrown into unnecessary defense.
Yeah, it is. And MMA here is just going straight up to much production, lots of production. There's the first siege tank going to be popping out in just a second. And again, his army is looking quite fearsome right now compared to that, although it's Viking technically in favor of ForGG at this point.
Yeah, reactor on the barracks, though. I mean, on the starport shortly, he's going to start to climb that up.
That's true. That's true.
But overall, yeah, I definitely prefer MMA's start to this game. And just a little bit funky of an opening here, really, from ForGG. He's blind countering something that isn't happening. He's going to come across now and have a look. And be like, no, what is this? He's a little bit confused, I would imagine, first.
He's going to be worried not seeing that command center there. And then a siege tank pops out. He's like, all right. Guess I'll take some free damage and run away.
Stim much faster here for, obviously, MMA. Tank production up, 3rd barracks on the way.
Double medevac.
Stim's going to be fast from...
yeah.
It's only just over a minute away.
All right. So he's basically combating an opponent here that is going to have the Viking advantage just by 1. Should maybe get more Vikings out if he wants to continue that.
I mean, ForGG, currently on 2 base, he's going to go to Blue Flame. Blue Flame is where he's really comfortable against these Marines, but before that, not so much, especially if there's Medivacs. He is going to play mech, and obviously we see MMA with Bio. But a clean start for MMA. Very clean start. I would imagine that he would pick up, he may bring the Raven with him, pick up 16 Marines, Raven with him for point defense drone in case there is Vikings. Yeah. Drop in and stim and let go.
It looks like that's the case.
Ooh, where's it? Yeah, is that MMA scanning, I would imagine? No, okay, it's not. It's the other way around.
This could work very, very well. This could work very well indeed. He's well defended at home.
3 Vikings. There is quite a few Hellions. Blue Flame is ideal, but if with these Marines are spread out...
yeah, they could tell them new one.
I mean, yeah, he can point defense drone and turret here.
There's the point defense drone laid down. And
he needs to spread his Marines against these Hellions, though.
Yeah, if he does, then this is going to go pretty well for him. He's
Stim not done. Now it is.
Very clumped up on this right-hand side, though, with those Marines. Wants to pull away. Realizes that there's a lot there. And point defense drone is all but spent and loses a medevac. That was not great.
Good defense. Good defense. All that might do more than what it did, but it didn't.
Oh,
that's a lot of Hellions. Complete wall has been made by MMA, who obviously I'd be a little bit worried about Hellions coming across the other side of the map, and that's a lot of them.
I'm surprised MMA is actually moving out with this 2 siege tank Marine force, because if ForGG decided to move out, that would take a lot of damage. because of the sheer number of Hellions, and we all know how well and how good ForGG plays with that kind of number of Hellions.
And yeah, that was such a good deflection from ForGG. It's given him a nice lead. If you know the units lost tab, if you look at it, it's actually quite kind of nasty, kind of nasty indeed, which has given him the advantage here. MMA's going to 5 barracks, and his third will come in next. Whereas we see ForGG, who sit very comfortably on 2 factory into the third, then additional production with the armory squeezed in there.
Yeah.
So a classic fight between these two, but also a classic mech versus bio game.
Loving it a lot. Army supplies now very much so in favor of ForGG here, as MMA on the left-hand side is looking to move out with a small force of this bio and try and control that area, but he's just a little, I guess he's just set up from waiting for his opponent to move across. Look, with these turned into Hellbats, that is so much power behind the army.
And that's what I was talking about. The switch up is so annoying.
Yeah.
Especially when playing bio like this. It just turns this into an almost unstoppable force because they just won't die off very fast. And double Hellbat drop here to a naked mineral line, which is very nice for ForGG if he's able to pull this off. But,
and he has the escort as well, so it's completely protected.
And this is going to hurt unless MMA has the reactions of a cat. So pull those SCVs out the way. No third command center yet, though, still. Kind of late. It's a lot of money thrown into this army that MMA has. I think he's going to try and exploit the map here, more so than not. I know as this drop goes on, what MMA will do is throw everything onto the third as ForGG tries to defend it and hope for a win there. I'm pretty sure that's what he's doing. I should have recognized this a little bit earlier, but this drop is slowing that progress down.
Yes, it is. He actually will get this medevac.
I mean, this is the weakness of Protoss on this map, like especially against Zerg, is the very open third.
Very much
and
so.
I think that's what he's going to do here. Whether he pulls SCVs or not, I don't really care, but that's his plan. But look at how many Hellbats!
How do you combat that? I don't think
the funny thing is I think it's like MMA who's building up for an attack, but it's actually ForGG with the Hellbats that's coming to him.
Yeah, he's just going to go. He doesn't have any upgrades on these. Wait a minute.
He scans and sees his army. He's like, oh my god, look at that.
The Hellbat train is here. Run away!
Wow.
All right. Well, this is kind of a crappy angle for ForGG, to say the least, and he does actually take a lot of damage there.
And beautiful kiting by MMA, just dropping back a little bit.
Yeah, I didn't like that angle at all.
Yeah, that wasn't ideal. And he walks into a big army of MMA.
Oh, dear.
And now the plan is kind of going to work. Now that he's lowered the Hellbat count, he's going to get on this third.
I mean, normally I wouldn't describe something as I did there, but
that wasn't ideal.
That was just not very good. ForGG now, he sits back on his third base, but the bio can gather a lot more momentum now.
Yeah, they were coming around that ramp, and all the bios just shooting as they walk closer and closer, and that did not work. And here comes the attack from MMA, which, as mentioned, is just, all out, gung-ho into this third. ForGG must hold this third.
Yeah.
He has to hold this.
All right, MMA, what you got for us? We have 1-1 upgrades on the bio. The Hellbat's going to get dropped on some of these siege tanks. That's a really good start here for ForGG in terms of the trade.
2 out of 4 tanks.
Very nice start. And behind that, ForGG retains his tank numbers. He's got a lot more Hellbats here. He's going to try and drop them again.
How is he going to break this third? I mean,
I don't think he is.
The tanks are nice. They're about, well, he didn't have any upgrades, actually. He's focused very heavily on units here. ForGG must hold this third. MMA has to break this.
Yeah,
he has to, and the longer he waits, the bigger an army ForGG gets.
There's no third command center behind this for MMA, guys. Very important to know.
He's going.
All right, let's see if this can work out. There's the stim. Tries to catch some of these siege tanks unsieged. Does actually very, very well. Spreads out this bio on the left-hand side. Looking to try and connect with some of those siege tanks, whilst the Hellbats on the right killed off a lot of that bio. Picks some of those up. The siege tanks not sieged up here for MMA. Try and push forwards, and he does break this location, forcing him back just a little bit.
Oh, where is he going with these medivacs? The main is suicidal. Oh, he's actually chasing the tanks.
All right, let's see if we can actually make this work. Some of the SCVs here trying to get into the fray themselves, but MMA, with the firepower, has broke the siege tank line. He's going to push ForGG back even further.
Oh, what a nice attack here from MMA. Beautiful, but you can't help but feel it was assisted a little bit by ForGG.
Yeah. It certainly looks like that. More Hellbats now trying to clean up some of this bio. MMA picks it, a bit of it, gets on top of the tanks on the high ground. A command center blocking my vision. Can't really see what's going on, but the siege tanks from the low ground for MMA.
Yeah, you just got to look at the supply here. MMA's broken that third. He's broken the economy. He's broken the army. And what an attack. ForGG is going to drop this one, and MMA looks like he's going to start this series with a win.
Wow, what a crazy, crazy start to this series. ForGG, I can't help but feel, kind of threw a little bit of that away with his over-eagerness in the middle, but yeah, MMA capitalizes in great fashion.
Yes, he does, and MMA will take this game. If ForGG had sat on his third and didn't do the attack, he would have sat and had a lot of a bigger army supply. Overall, a lot of other things ForGG would have done would have resulted better against what was happening here. But to be fair, I don't think he really knew what was happening. And MMA is on top of the production. Every single unit that pops out, and ForGG must be in disbelief of how this one shaped up.
Absolutely. MMA keeping his hopes alive here in the first game of this series. He was on the ropes in the losers game. But now, after taking this one, well, eventually as ForGG comes to realization it's out.
Yeah, he's holding on for everything that he's got. He's losing SCVs left and right. He is still making a lot of units, but the reinforcements of MMA are not going to stop. He's going to keep going for this one.
Yep, we'll push this away for now, but there's still a lot of bion, a lot of tanks still streaming across this map. They're actually going to retreat on out here for MMA, so there will be a sense of normality stabilized. But
yeah, he can lift up his command center and continue to mine. It's 15 SCVs to 40, a massive advantage here for MMA. Oh, ForGG holds on for a little bit longer here. And he does have, with 3 command centers, the chance to move forward. But the next attack is going to be much more difficult. If you think he was holding 3 bases with an army that he had before, which was equal, if not higher in supply, it's going to be hard to be able to hold this next one. And the same kind of style will come out from MMA.
Most
Continues
definitely.
mining from this third. Will continue to ramp that level of army supply up. And he backs off, but he'll be ready to go again, and will definitely not allow that third to be taken. That is a must.
Yeah, this is the calm before the storm right now, as MMA looks to just build up, and then from there on out, absolutely hammer like a tidal wave against this third base.
Yeah, he's going to start, either dropping on this army with no Viking support, looking to siege in.
Gotta be careful. Every unit is so valuable here for ForGG. Every unit.
Yeah, but like I said, it's the same kind of scenario where the longer the game goes on, the better it can be for ForGG.
Yep. Can start to recuperate, especially with this third base. Now mining from a little bit here, and it's fortified by the siege tank positioning. Income. Looking.
MMA still doing the same thing, just same thing. He's hoping and, thinks this is going to be the way. Surprised that ForGG held on as well as he did, but
he was looking to intercept this drop as well with a few of these Marines. Does grab it in the end.
That hellbat count is rising up again. And he's actually switching 4 over to Hellions. He's going to go for a run-by into the income line.
Oh, wow.
ForGG's not out of it yet.
All right, so MMA with 37 army supply advantage. If these 4 Hellions don't really do a whole lot, then that could spell doom for him. Catches them with one of the Marauders.
That army outside of ForGG's base is pretty big, though.
Very, very menacing indeed. Those siege tanks really have to be very, very cost-effective against this. Get quite a bit of that bio. And actually, the Hellbats moving forward, not exactly tanking a whole lot there. MMA, there you go. It's too overwhelming. GG, the tidal wave hits, smashes against it. It's not able to bear the brunt.
MMA, who's looked dead multiple times, starts the series with a win. And is going to go into this next one for the first time in the second map lead in the series. So he lost the first game in its live Zerg and also lost this one too. So, or the previous one, sorry. ForGG definitely up against it right now. We talked about how good he is in Terran versus Terran, but so is MMA.
Yep.
MMA has defeated a lot of Terrans throughout his WCS seasons and is lining up another one in the spotlight.
I mean, despite looking initially rocky against Daishi in that first map he had against him, from there on out, the momentum really does look like it's been gathered, and that was a good and strong execution there, but I still gotta wonder what would have happened if ForGG hadn't moved around that little lip and lost a lot of his army.
Different game.
Yeah.
Put it that way, a different game, whichever way we want to imagine it would go. But the next map now, King Sejong Station.
Fantastic.
ForGG's got to pull this one back. It's, Not a
Simple as
secret that
that.
he's got to do that. Wondering how he'll approach it, whether it be aggressive play here. Will he try gas first? Remember the way that that opened up with ForGG blind countering what he was expecting MMA to do. Don't think we'll be seeing that again.
Yeah, and this is a map where you know where your opponent's spawning, which is quite nice. Merry-go-round not as useful in that regard. So you can scout out pretty fast, spot what your opponent's doing, which is nice. But at the same time, does somebody go for something crazy here? Does MMA go for something crazy here? Might do. It's a
Could
possibility.
see, a proxy barracks or something like an 8 proxy barracks for Reapers. But as much as MMA's experience, I think he'll probably, lean towards his experience here and wouldn't be too crazy.
Yeah.
Against ForGG. He's leading against a very dominant player in Terran versus Terran, so I wouldn't want to mess it up.
All right, let's get into it. Game number 2 as we find out who's advancing on to the round of 16. Spawn down the bottom right-hand corner. Currently 1 game down, needs to claw it back. It is ForGG. And up to the top left-hand corner, a 2-time WCS Europe finalist, a 1-time WCS Europe champion. It is Acer MMA.
And he holds a lot of championships to his name. A lot of money to his name. 5 championships, $250,000 in prize money alone. He's a champion of the WCS. He's a 2-time finalist. ForGG did break through in Season 1 last year, but has failed to do so since. Has failed above the round of 16 since. Compared to MMA, who's just continued to rise and rise and rise. And it is going to be gas first from MMA here. Going to every other build apart from the last map that he's done today. And ForGG going 12 barracks here. 12 gas. Is it? No. He's changing it up.
Not by the looks of things just yet.
So it looks like at the moment 15 gas. Could be 1 barracks command center, but I think 15 is nice. It's a very good defensively set up build. Probably one of the better builds, actually, within this matchup. But he's going to get an SCV over the other side to scout what MMA's up to. And by the looks of it, the SCV should get in there before the Marine is out. And we'll be able to see this gas first build and start to mentally prepare for this oncoming attack from MMA, which is going to be Banshees. And if you think about the, the ease of access through the middle of the map towards a natural expansion, could work out well for him.
All right, well, as this unfolds, ForGG now stares down the barrel. He's got to somehow find a way out of this. He's in a tight bind. Neither of these players probably expected them going out. Neither of them, looking at this group. And he does at least spot what's going on the other side of the map from MMA.
So when in Terran versus Terran, when gas first was the build, always, ForGG was one of the first players to use 15 gas successfully and defend against different types of attacks that Terran players would do with a gas first opening.
Yes,
he's well prepared and well experienced in playing against what he's doing right now. So in terms of build orders, one advantage over the other, I don't care about that. I care about the fact that ForGG knows how to play against what he's seen.
Yeah.
So, the way that he's done that is whether it be an Engineering Bay or Viking down, or whether he goes up to 2 gases and starts to get a Raven out. Traditionally, he always used to be a player who got was always single gas kind of guy. Lots of Hellions, and then the Engineering Bay and Vikings added in, off 1 gas. We'll see if he takes a second if he wants to play it in a different defense, but overall, as good as MMA is with Banshee control, and the chance he has to do damage, I don't think he's going to do it against ForGG. ForGG's so good at this.
Yeah, ForGG could be going back to the total bread and butter build of lots and lots of Hellions, lots and lots of power, which is what he has gone.
But look
for
at MMA, he's only on 1 gas.
It's true.
Which is not 2, and it's not Cloak and a Banshee, it's 1 or the other. And you don't really get Cloak without a Banshee, so it's going to be just a single Banshee without Cloak into a faster command center. So a faster command center is obviously nice, especially if he can get similar damage with the non-Cloak Banshee like he does a Cloakless Banshee. And if you think about the way that I just described ForGG to defend, lots of Hellions, Viking turrets everywhere.
Yeah.
This is a minimal investment from MMA and is forcing ForGG into the ultimate defense. And I think MMA knows very well, like I do, that ForGG is one of the best players at defending this. It's been spotted. He's faking it out a little bit, forcing more money to be spent on the defense and the aggression. I think this is really nicely played by MMA.
I think so too. I think so too. MMA is, again, it seems like a different MMA these past couple of games compared to how we saw him at the start of this group. So really got a kick in the balls and is just good to go here.
And ForGG wouldn't really scan either in this position. He would be happy with his defense and just be muling. And be like, yeah, bring it on. I don't need to see what's already coming my way. And that's one of the tricks as well. So as much as this high-level play between them is being outplayed, you have to think about they've played a lot against each other in history. They're equal in results against each other. Millennium send out ForGG to play against MMA in teams and team leagues, and likewise vice versa. And MMA's tricked him.
Yeah.
He's tricked him. You have 3 turrets. You have a Viking and Marines in defense. Maybe even a Raven. I don't know. Okay, he's going to go Banshee, but MMA has Stim already on the way.
Yeah, by the time that Banshee gets over there, I mean, Marines should be in sufficient locations for MMA to really push that back. And he's swapping everything up. He's going for his triple barracks play with the double reactors. So he's going to have plenty of units out.
Yeah, this is a beautiful switch up from MMA. Really, really nice. And I would go as far as saying that MMA's in the lead. I mean, you've got potential damage from the Cloak Banshees from ForGG. And there's a lot of Hellions. The Hellions aren't really going to do that much. They're good defensively, but MMA's not being aggressive right now. So you only really have Banshees to do damage, or maybe Banshees together with Hellions for a frontal attack. But overall, I much prefer Stim to be on the way, a Raven coming in, 4 Marines being made at a time.
He just knows what's up.
Engineering Bay will probably come in next for a +1 attack, or at least upgrade for +1 attack. So it's a really good setup.
Yeah, he's reading into this game very, very well with the Raven just being added on at this exact time. Just so precise from MMA. The fortune teller that he is he's doing well in this game.
Yeah, and it's all with minimal information. The only information he got was that original SCV, and then knowing that ForGG knew what was going on. So really, really good play from MMA. Picking out a lot from really nothing, to be honest. But the Banshee's coming into the main, and there is still potential SCV kills here. The Raven's not in position. MMA doesn't know exactly that the Banshee's going to be there.
Yeah, there's no missile turret or anything like that placed down in the main. So it's a little bit of a hazard for him there. And MMA now trying to go in with his Banshee. And how much is he actually going to do? He gets 1 worker, but the Viking's looking to intercept. And you've got to remember, because there is no cloak, that makes it a whole lot harder to get away.
Yes, it does. And ForGG very patient with his own Banshee right now, just waiting. He's going to now send in with Cloak, and there is nothing there right now.
Yeah, as I said before, there's the no missile turret, which leaves him naked,
this is a nice play.
So this will give him a little bit of an edge as he tries to get as many workers as he can. Even if he gets a Marine or 2, that's not too bad. Any worker or anything is nice. There's the Stim and there's the scan, but unfortunately those buildings kind of blocking his and impeding his progress to try and catch that.
Yeah, pretty good counter Banshee play by ForGG here.
Ooh, gonna go for the siege tank on this.
And he's also picking off the Marines inside the main base. So as much as ForGG, I felt was in a bit of a weird position, he's definitely turned things around a little bit with these 2 Banshees. Dealt a lot of damage to Marines and SCVs.
Yeah, it's a shame he didn't get that siege tank as well. It was so close to death. One last volley would have gotten it, but MMA saves that in true fashion. And now we just have even more barracks coming out from MMA. His production is going to hit home really hard very soon.
Similar setup from him in terms of the last game. So I'm reading, obviously, into it much, much faster here. We'll see where he goes. Ideally, if he was to play this game out long, he will be looking for a 3rd very, very soon. So without that, he's just producing a lot of units again. And on this map, it's very similar kind of 3rd base. But
jeez, that's a lot of Hellions.
These Hellions before combat shields, if they get a wave on these Marines.
Yeah, especially with Blue Flame
there. Yeah, Blue Flame up. He doesn't know they were there. He hasn't seen them yet.
Gotta be careful. They're gonna move into a position where they're pretty good against these Marines, especially without the siege tanks.
Oh, he's gonna...
Oh dear. All right, Blue Flame's done. That's a lot of Marines already dead. A lot of them also gonna fall. He tries to get out with a lot of this. Even Marauders aren't safe against that many Hellions.
Yep, and there's a lot more back at home too. And here comes MMA's push.
Looking to intercept a little bit of that as they do retreat out. But he's reinforcing with so many more Hellions as well.
Yeah, there's a lot of Hellions here. MMA's got to be careful.
Yeah, he does.
Oh, I think he turned around. He's like, oh no.
Ah, run away. Siege tanks. Actually, Siege tank's naked. Not doing too badly against that.
Yeah, he's got to pick up and get out with the tanks.
Yeah. And
Well, actually, he's actually been able to hold like 3 low health tanks.
Yeah, those 3 siege tanks, again, they provide fantastic firepower. Trying to stim in with the Bioforce to reinforce.
Banshee, go.
What's it doing? It's not doing anything.
Yeah, it definitely should be going there. But MMA survives with a lot more than I thought he would. But third base is down for ForGG. Still no third from MMA.
Is he going to try and go for that kill blow again?
Yeah, it looks like it at the moment.
It's more difficult here, I think, on this map, though.
A little bit more difficult. Definitely a little bit more difficult. But ForGG doesn't know there is no third and doesn't know about the 5 barracks. Again, so he's in a similar position.
Yeah.
But he doesn't technically need to be attacking at all right now. He just doesn't know what's going on. He wisely would like to know, and if he did know, then the game plan changes. He's on 5 factories. Sit down, build a lot of units, get +2 attack, and don't die versus this next couple of waves.
Yeah, because even though ForGG had the bigger army, technically, going into that last engagement before, you know, he still died to it.
Yeah, I don't think that MMA's plan is that good. Overall, it's not the best strategy, I don't think.
Especially against the position now, I feel.
MMA should not break ForGG. I will be very surprised if he does here. The amount of units, the ability to drop 6 Hellbats on top.
Yeah, it's a lot of...
I don't know where that tank's going.
It's a lot to deal with. We're sending a few units over to the left-hand side here is MMA, controlling the watchtower.
A scan on the third, great scan. Fantastic scan.
Yeah.
Sees no third. Obviously now knows that he's playing exactly the same as just now.
SCVs are here. A few SCVs to try and kind of buffer for this.
Yeah, a couple of tank shots. But ForGG's ready. He's ready for this.
Yeah, he knows it's coming. He definitely does. This is going to be hard for MMA. ForGG is looking to tie up the series with this, basically, unless MMA is able to do a lot here. That missile turret's already going to work on one of those medevacs. Realizes that he might have a bit of a harder time dropping those Hellbats on top of any of this, because it's not even sieged up anyway, so not really a big need. MMA trying to divide and conquer for a second.
Bit of a weak flank on the right-hand side. Only 1, 2... Okay, 2 more tanks joining in, so it's stronger again. He's got the left flank covered with 4 tanks and the right with 3 and 4 now. So he's actually more than fine if MMA was to try to siege in here.
This is almost impenetrable. As long as he doesn't screw something up, ForGG is going to not... He's not going to be broken here.
MMA is going to attempt it, though. And if ForGG holds on to this like he wanted to in the last one, go into game 3. And we are going to the rubber match.
All right. Well, MMA still looking for some kind of maneuver to push on forwards. He drops the scan, realizes his opponent is very strong in this location.
All right. MMA is going to go. He needs to go soon.
He even sees a command center being dropped. That's how confident ForGG is here.
MMA may try to come around the back, break the debris and pull him out of position and then launch in.
Well, that shows me one thing, that he is definitely not confident with breaking this front location. So,
yeah, good scan by ForGG. Realizes that will probably happen.
Yeah, sees it with the barracks as well. So everything is at ForGG's fingertips right now. He has the ability to shut this down with ease.
ForGG's not going to get stopped by this attack. Come on.
No, I don't think so.
The army supply is heavily in favor of ForGG. He's got +2 now. He's defended his natural. He can actually attack into MMA, who's the one who's trying to attack.
He could.
Look at how many units ForGG has.
Army supply vastly in favor of ForGG here by about 15, but again, it's the quality of army that ForGG has in abundance.
And he's even taken a 4th in MMA's face. That's pretty funny. Planetary Fortress up there too. MMA is going to attack in there because he knows it's about to be a Planetary Fortress. So he has to go now. This is it.
Yep, coming in from both sides. Takes out one of the siege tanks on the right-hand side, but Hellbats get dropped across the entirety of that bio. Likewise, on the left-hand side, a lot of the bio gets picked off by the Hellbats. And actually, you know, gratitude to MMA, you know, he tried to break a lot of that, but there's so much more mech behind this.
There is no way ForGG was going to die to that. He knows he's dropping tanks on the army. GG, game 3, let's go.
All right. Very, very soon now, one final game will decide which of these two is going on to the round of 16. And I wouldn't have it any other way. One more map to decide this. MMA's plan in game number 1 was, it worked. In game number 2, not so much. And now
he got lucky in game number 1.
Yeah, he did.
You know, his plan, if it was to be played out against a normal style, or at least someone was expecting it, wouldn't have worked in game 1 either. And now he definitely knows it's not going to work. So coming into this next one,
has to be the change-up.
He's got to change it up. So I love the opening from MMA. Absolutely beautiful opening. The gas first, little fake out, faster command center, faster switch up. And maybe if, you know, things had gone differently, whether ForGG had thrown himself over the other side of the map a little bit more, it could have been different.
Yeah.
But I'm expecting a change up. The map obviously matters quite a bit here.
We'll find out in a second.
Might be Frost, maybe.
Yeah.
Might be Frost, all-round map, maybe.
Maybe. A little bit more of a delay on this third map. Normally we're straight right into them, but it's clear that, you know, it's a little bit tense here. One of these guys is going through, but we'll find out in a little bit.
I mean, they are fighting for the right to represent their race in the next round.
Basically,
with only Yoda through, it's one of these guys to be with Yoda for the whole of the round of 16. So it's good that it's gone to 3 maps to decide this. Much better than 2. Really take it to the 3rd game to really show who should be representing.
And the thing is, for Terrans, yes, they currently only have Yoda there, and one of these guys, be it ForGG or MMA, will also be there in the round of 16. But I think fear not Terrans, because whoever those 2 representatives are going to be, they have legitimate shots of going deep in this tournament. So, round of 16, got a lot of Protoss, a lot of Zerg, but the 2 Terrans that we will have, pretty furious.
Yes, they are. All right, 3rd map has been loaded, and it is going to be Frost. Yeah, I thought that might be the one. So Frost, much more all-round overall. Can play any style, whether it be bio or mech. Can play gas first or not. So anything is capable. Anything's possible for these guys to choose from. MMA is asking for a second here just to compose himself before jumping into this next one, which makes sense.
Yeah, definitely.
It's really all on the line now. This is a matter of advancing or not advancing.
Well wrapped up.
Yep.
Okay, so again, very difficult to pick a favorite. Actually, I'll say ForGG. Now that I say that, you know, I'm going to go with ForGG.
All right, I'm going MMA.
All right, okay, we can be on opposites again.
I feel inside that it should be ForGG.
Yeah.
But something's telling me MMA.
All right, okay.
Something's telling me MMA. I don't know what it is.
Is it the background desktop that you have on your PC upstairs?
Nope, and it's not the production guy either.
All right, okay.
Yeah, I'm thinking MMA here. It's very difficult to call, though. I mean, it's really, really difficult to call this one. ForGG, I feel, is better in Terran versus Terran.
Yes.
But MMA, even though ForGG is better in Terran versus Terran, I just think he has a bit of more star quality to him, which gives him a bit of a boost and help.
By definition, am I going with the brain choice and you're going with the heart choice?
Yes.
Okay.
You're going by stats.
Yeah.
ForGG is better in this matchup. I'm going by the feeling.
All right, okay.
It's the way we roll.
Got a feeling. Sick. All right, so these guys are good to go now. So the countdown is about to begin for our final game of the day.
MMA took a few seconds, and you can, as a player, read into that, but also read too much into that. What is he thinking about? Is he planning something to start this game off? Is he really just, you know, going over the series again? So even though you can read too much into it, for ForGG, it is best to not think about any of that because you can read too much into it. But we'll see. We'll see what's going to be.
All right, let's get into it, guys. The final map of the night. One of these guys is going to the round of 16. Is it going to be this man spawning up to the top right? Is it going to be our blue Terran? Is it going to be ForGG? Or will it be the guy to the bottom left? Our red Terran representing Acer. It's MMA.
I don't know. I don't know is the answer to the question. Everything is on the line now. This is, if you look at both sides, this is MMA who's meant to be climbing back to where he was in the last 2 seasons. He's meant to be that player who is looking to play and get revenge against MC.
Yeah.
He's not meant to die in the round of 32. And on the other side of things, ForGG looked great starting off today. Looked great. But, you know, is he going to be able to follow through properly? Is he going to be able to finish off the group? Again, if ForGG does not advance from today, it's another disappointment for all his fans because ForGG is so very good but can't get results in WCS to what he wants. And it is gas first for MMA, Reaper opening for ForGG.
So this will play out. Nobody's really going to die in the earlier stages just to begin things, which is nice. We will see it play out.
If you think about the way that Daishi was playing against MMA, Daishi opened up with Reaper pretty much every time against MMA's gas first, and he was able to find himself in fine position.
Oh, yeah.
Because you really do need to get at least something done with this build as MMA, or try to fake your opponent out, which won't happen again now. So he really does need to get something dealt with his Banshees, or at least that's what we're expecting to see from this. Whereas ForGG is in a good position to pull off what he did in the previous game against the real thing, which is the defense. And with a Reaper, he will see it easier and a lot faster than anyone else, obviously, if they don't open Reaper.
Fetcher gets thrown down for MMA, and then from here on out, let's see what he wants to do. He may end up going for some kind of crazy naked Banshee again. But
yeah, it depends on the second gas or not. But
yeah,
it's going to be harder to pull off because of the Reaper, who can just see there's no second gas and be like, all right, that's fine with me. And he's not taking a second gas yet. And so, okay, there it is. Okay, there it is.
Did he throw it now?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it did. Okay.
So he is going to do the real deal, which I thought we would see. But now it's time for him to go scout, ForGG.
He's not going to go. He's just going to sit around here again, I think.
Yeah, I don't know why. He's looking to deny a scout, or at least wait till the second Reaper, so he goes with 2, or at least have the second Reaper out to stop a Reaper to stop his command center.
That's exactly the same as he did in last game, right? Like, sitting around with these Reapers, chilling out. I guess it is just for the denial of the scout. I think he has anticipated... I mean, he tried to anticipate in game number 1 what his opponent was up to, and then game number 2...
Well, let's just say that these Reapers aren't helping him at the moment, when they could be finding out what exactly is going on. Unless he's opening up with a very generic defensive opening anyway, that it doesn't matter if he sees it or not and is expecting MMA to do what MMA does, then whatever. You know, the Reapers don't care. But the Banshees are going to be on their way by the looks of it. Unscouted so far.
There's our cloak. And this SCV is not going to get much information at all.
No. But ForGG's opening up with a defensive build anyway, like he did last time. Stops the SCV scout. He's got the engineering raid down fast. He's switching over. I'm pretty sure that he'll go Raven this time first.
Yeah.
Into Viking, or Viking then Raven usually. Because if you go Raven first, as cool as it is to get that Raven out nice and fast, the Banshee hits before the anti-air comes out, which is the Viking, if you go Raven first. So
you do on the Viking
usually go Viking first, then Raven if you're going to play Raven, and then of course open up with your Hellions. But he may not even do that. He may just go Stim and Viking, because he has got turrets everywhere, or at least in the natural and in the main. But again, you know, preemptively expecting this type of play, and it will work out from this time, because MMA is doing what he's playing towards.
Well, once again, we see Widowmine actually set up in such a way that if it, you know, like if a random Banshee was to be coming along and you could try and catch that out in that angle.
ForGG gets a SCV kill. That's awesome.
Yeah, that was a really good denial there.
So he's set up a build that he didn't know doesn't know he's playing against. Set up with a defensive build against that, and then got the Reaper kill.
Yeah, it's good.
And this Banshee's going to go in and get nothing done. The Viking's out. The Raven's on its way.
Missile turrets there to zone out to begin with as well.
And depending on which way that ForGG goes here, he's going to avoid the Widowmine. Okay, Banshee pops out, which actually it could work.
Yep, could be there for the defense and help out as well. But the Banshee with Cloak does get out of the range.
He's going to deny the command center again.
Oh, geez. Actually, this is so lucky. Because even if the Widowmine unburrows now, he can just turn around the back of it and kill it.
Yeah, beautiful move again by ForGG. Excellent.
Banshee's bought time for.
And then, yeah, Widowmine going to get a hit here. All right, deals with it. But that's a lot of downtime on that command center.
Yeah.
MMA is playing with 3 command centers, so it's not the end of the world. But that Reaper may go in and scout it here. I think that would be the smart move. The Reaper's useless.
Yeah, especially with probably where he's allocating all of his units now. Oh, he actually pulled back. Why did he pull back?
He'll go in now.
Ah, okay.
Free scout.
Yeah.
Early command center scout.
Might even get the SCV.
All these little things.
Ah! Disaster!
All these little things.
Oh,
so,
well.
ForGG is playing against 3 command centers. What do you do as ForGG?
Power!
Do you throw down another factory and try to go for a timing? Do you throw down the 3rd of your own on the third base location.
I mean, we talked about in the previous series, you know, ForGG is like that power drill, like he just goes for it. But man, he is the Jeremy Clarkson. He just goes for the power.
I think MMA's in a lot of trouble right now. If you look at what MMA has, not what ForGG has, kind of got that backwards.
He's got nothing.
MMA's going for Blue Flame, or should be, like ForGG already has.
Yeah.
ForGG has more out already. Unless MMA starts tanks, which then again is very scary. If he tries to fight fire with fire, a bunker's coming down, which helps, but he would need a wall off. He would need to make a wall, otherwise these lines are going to come crashing through.
I don't think you can fight blue fire with fire.
Really, 4GG's a god, man. He smells weakness like this. And with Blue Flame about to complete,
everything lines up for him. Everything lines up.
Banshee's dead. Blue Flame is about to complete.
2 armors.
He needs a wall. He needs the wall to stop the units from just going in.
Is he not going to go? He's waiting for the 2 more Vikings to come along, I guess, but he should just go.
There's no wall. There's no Blue Flame. There's no units being built. There's armories being added on for MMA. A second bunker. I think he's starting to realize.
MMA even realized how much trouble he's in.
He's got to auto-turret this.
Yeah, he's going to try and hold against this, but those Hellions line themselves up as well, actually, on that, and do so much damage. Those SCVs are going to fall very, very quickly on this bunker. He's already killed 13 workers. He's killed 18 workers. The Hellions are just not dying.
The bunker stays alive, which is helping, but it's about to go down. And 4GG just shows his class time after time after time in Terran versus Terran. And our finalist from last season is going to be eliminated in the round of 32. It would be a miracle to hold on from this. 4GG. It looks like it's his time for once.
If you give 4GG a window at the start of a TVT, he is going to jump straight through it. GG. 4GG advances on to the round of 16. And MMA, our previous season finalist, is out in the round of 32.
You know, it's nuts to actually think about. MMA's eliminated from 2 finals to round of 32 and gone. 4GG takes his place and will represent Terran in the round of 16 instead of MMA. I guess you can look at the bright side of things. There is a new threat in town, and it's 4GG.
Yeah, advancing on to the round of 16. Congratulations to him. And guys, that pretty much does it for today's games. And here you have the bracket.
There is the bracket for confirmation. LiveZerg, first place, an unexpected first place finisher, and 4GG conquers MMA to find him as the second place finisher.
Really, really well done there. What a day of games. What a day. LiveZerg advancing on. Yeah. Nobody really expected that. Moving on to the round of 16. And in fact, obviously, we have our live shows in the round of 16 coming up very, very soon. And you can head over to WCS Europe.eventbrite.com to pick up your tickets to join us in the live shows and see players like LiveZerg and 4GG play out.
To cheer 4GG and Yoda on as the only 2 Terran players, you can do that. And there's also going to be a lot of Protoss versus Zerg. You get to meet the boss toss and so on, and a lot of other awesome players. Be around them, hang out with us. Get your tickets there. It's a lot of fun.
And that also means now we only have 1 group left here in the round of 32 with so many already advancing on.
Look at how many Premier League players have been eliminated over the round of 32. A season of upsets once again. And as you say, Saturday, the last day where Vortex, the Conqueror, the Destroyer, whatever you want to call him, is playing. Grubby makes an appearance. We haven't seen much of Grubby recently.
Yeah.
Patience makes his debut, that cheeky little guy. And then, of course, Teffel. Awesome.
What? All right.
Patience he's the youngest guy in the round of 32. He's arguably the most aggressive Protoss.
Yeah.
But, it's going to be fun having him in.
Here's the thing. Patience really needs to redeem himself from the EPS final that we saw previously, narrowly losing that out against Showtime. But that really does it here for WCS Europe today, guys. It's been a pleasure bringing you these games, and we'll see you same time on Saturday.